Hello guys, today we are going to study about respiratory pathologies. But before starting that respiratory pathologies, particularly we should know about dynamic volume. What is this dynamic volume? This is a test. In this test basically we check the dynamic volume, and in this test we take time is reference frame. Okay, basically what we do in this dynamic volume or dynamic volume test, see, a normal person exhales completely 100% air from his lungs in 3 seconds. So what? A normal person exhales completely, means 100% in 3 seconds. And what is the ratio for that? See, so basically the functional expiratory volume in 1 second is 84%. So basically what is this scenario? First I will tell you, FeV2 second is 97% and FeV3 is 100%. So the functional expiratory volume, so the person who expires the volume, are normal human beings, expire 84% volume in their first second. Then in second second they expire 97%, and in third second they expire 100% air from their out. Okay, if any person can't exhale out, like if after 3 seconds, if after 3 seconds 100% air is not expired, then the person will have obstructive diseases. Okay, and one more scenario, if this FeV1 comes less than 60%, then also obstructive lung diseases. Okay, so if this 1 second is less than 60%, then the person will have obstructive lung diseases. And if the person cannot exhale out air in 3 seconds, then also he or she have obstructive lung disease. Now we will going to particularly about this lung disease section. Now let's talk about respiratory diseases. Respiratory diseases. There are two types of respiratory disease. First is restrictive, and second one is obstructive. Okay, so this restrictive, in this what happens usually? Alveoli are affected. What? Alveoli is affected. Okay, in obstructive disease, what usually affects? Our bronchioles are affected more. What? Bronchioles are affected more. Bronchioles affected. Okay, in this restrictive diseases, alveoli are affected. The lungs become small. The lung size of lung is small. As surface area of the lung is reduced by tumor or anything else, the lung size or lung becomes small. In this example, what will usually affect like fibrosis, okay, pulmonary fibrosis, pulmonary tumor, pulmonary cystic fibrosis, okay, like pulmonary tumor or cystic. These are all those pathomorpho diseases that comes in pathomorphology, and okay, those type of diseases. Okay, but in this obstructive disease, as in this and one more thing, in these restrictive diseases, what will affects more? Usually inspiration is affected. Inspiration is affected. Okay, what is affected more here? Inspiration. Now in this bronchioles are affected in this obstructive disease, and in this what happens, as the atmospheric pressure is higher, so the airs come very easily in our lungs. Okay, so what will affect here? Here expiration is affected, because inspiration occurs by its own. We don't need too much in like physical exercises. This expiration become active, but usually it's passive. Okay, because atmospheric pressure is very much higher than from our body pressure, so it's very easily enters in our body. Okay, so in this what expiration is affected. Expiration affected. In this what happens? The lungs will become baggy lungs. Okay, so basically the lung size what is increased like a bag. Okay, the examples here are emphysema. Okay, emphysema, chronic bronchitis. You know what is chronic bronchitis? See, it's very basic term. Chronic means for a long term, and itis means inflammation. If in the end of any time you see this itis, you will study about this in pathomorpho also. Okay, chronic means for a long term disease, and itis means inflammation. So chronic bronchial inflammation, chronic bronchitis. Okay, and bronchial asthma, and our COPD. Okay, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. All right, so just remember, this is here we have emphysema, bronchitis, chronic bronchitis, bronchial asthma, COPD. And one more thing which I want to clear here is, this is emphysema, not empyema. You will study that about in pathomorpho. Empyema. What is this empyema? Empyema is pus in lungs. What? Pus in lungs. You know pus? Okay, empyema is pus in lungs, but emphysema is a different scenario. I will tell about you emphysema just now. Okay, emphysema. Oh sorry, it's emphysema. Okay, empyema is a totally different term. I just want to tell you so you won't confuse in this emphysema and empyema. Okay. And one more thing I want to tell you here. Just remember, I think I told you about this later. Just imagine this is your lung, okay, and this is your lung divided in bronchioles. Okay, this is your trachea, and this is divided into bronchioles. This is divided at I think T4. It divides at T4. Okay, and this division point is called Kareena. But I just want to tell you something different here. Okay, so in the trachea we have C-shaped cartilages. Okay, so the lung won't collapse. But in these are only and only present in trachea. In our bronchioles we have smooth muscles. I think I told you about this part earlier also, but there is some confusion, or I think I told it wrong. So just remember it here, and this is the right thing. Okay, in trachea we have C-shaped cartilage. Okay, and in bronchioles we have smooth muscles. So here the diffusion of air is not possible in trachea and in these bronchioles because of presence of hyaline cartilage and smooth muscles. And if someone wants to ask, this is Kareena. This division point is called Kareena, and this point we can found at T4 level. Okay, thoracic fourth. Now let's talk about what the easiest topic and most interesting topic for today's generations, that is emphysema. Emphysema. This is an irreversible disease. Okay, this is an irreversible disease. In this, what happened? Basically, lung elasticity is loose. Okay, in this, what happened? The lung elasticity will lose. So how the lung will look like? Obviously, I already told you. It will look like baggy lung. Okay, emphysema. Now, what is the mechanism of here happens? Mechanism. Actually, this usually found out in smokers who drink, who smokes like cigarettes, hookahs, those flavored hookahs and all those stuffs. Okay. Actually, what happens if someone smokes, like smokers smoke, okay, and coal or like carbon monoxide, all those things enter in your lungs, they will act as how in your body? They will act as an antigen for your body. Those are antigens thing. Okay, like I will give you a very classic example, like smokers smoke and coal enters in lung. Okay, coal enters in lung, and obviously these all things is for Asian body or is an antigen for our body. Then what happens when they reach to your alveoli? Okay, just imagine this is your alveoli, and these alveoli are made up of elastin protein. Okay, elastin protein, and as the name indicates, these provide lungs elasticity. Okay, they provide the lungs elasticity. This elastin protein. So alveoli are made up of elastin proteins. Just imagine there is a person who smokes and their coal or anything enters in their lungs for Asian body. Okay, then what will happen if there is any antigen which will come first in your body? Yes, macrophages. Okay, so the macrophage will come here to engulf and do whatever. Okay, so these macrophages have elastase. What? These macrophages have elastase. Okay, and this elastase does what? This elastase break elastin protein. Okay, these elastase, macrophages have elastase, and elastase break what? Elastin proteins. For what they come? They came for primarily to digest this phagocyte, what? This antigen. But these macrophages also have elastase which break what? These elastin proteins. Okay, normally in our lungs there is one very important thing present, that is alpha-1 antitrypsin. Okay, what's that? Alpha-1 antitrypsin. This helps to maintain lung its elasticity. What? This helps lung to maintain its elasticity. How? Basically, it blocks or stop the mechanism of this elastase. Okay, so if it blocks or stop the mechanism of elastase, then what will happen? It won't break what? Elastin proteins. Okay, but in chronic smokers, what will happen? There is so much antigens are coming in their body, as foreign bodies. Okay, so much is coming in their body, and their body produce so much macrophages for it, and there is not enough alpha-1 antitrypsin in your lungs that can stop this elastase. Then what will happen? The elastase will work. And what is the work of this elastase? It breaks what? It breaks elastin proteins. Okay, now what will happen after that? So now these macrophages, they eat. How they eat? They eat antigens and all of this. Alveoli also they eat, because obviously in chronic smoker elastase works. Okay, because alpha-1 antitrypsin is not enough. So they eat this elastin protein, those macrophages or elastase present in macrophages. They eat too much, and obviously this membrane will break by this, and if anything happens, this membrane will break. Okay, now they eat too much and then they vomit it out. We call this vomit it out as regurgitation. Okay, regurgitate, T-A-T, regurgitate. So now what happened? That elastase break this alveoli. Now this alveoli is break. All of this comes outside. This regurgitation, which have macrophages and antigens and all of those stuffs, and then they do what? They affect the other normal alveoli too. Now they will affect other normal alveoli. Okay, again, I hope you got it. Okay, so because of this, what will happen? Elastin is lost. Okay, this elastin is lost, and if this elastin is lost, then what will happen? No elasticity. Okay, and then what is the treatment of these guys? treatment. If someone asks you treatment, there is no treatment. I already told you it's irreversible thing. Okay, irreversible disease. So you have to do lung transplantation. Lung transplantation. I hope you got emphysema. I know I took a lot of time to explain it, but it's very important topic for today's generation, for today's thing scenario. Okay, now the second thing is asthma. It's very easy thing. The main points which you have to remember here is, for some of my friends, if you want to learn about this, is this what alpha-1 antitrypsin. This alpha-1 antitrypsin. Okay, this alpha-1 antitrypsin, the elastase, how macrophages affect. Okay, allolyze elastin proteins. Okay, this alpha-1 antitrypsin is very important. Okay, now let's come to asthma. What is asthma? Asthmatic are those guys who have asthma. They have hypersensitivity reaction. We will discuss about this later. These have hypersensitivity type 1 reaction. Basically, what their body produce, their body show hypersensitivity to even small antigens. Okay, in these people, what happen? Bronchoconstriction occurs. Bronchoconstriction occurs due to allergic mediators. Okay, what will happen? Who is allergic mediator? That is histamine. Okay, histamine. These are produced by basophils or mast cells. We will discuss about this later. So what will happen? Even a little antigen if come into your lungs, okay, so your body won't produce, a normal person bodies won't produce too much hyper or too much histamine for that. But in these asthmatic people, what happen? Even for a little antigen, okay, small amount of antigen, their bodies become too much hypersensitive. Okay, so it does what? It does bronchoconstriction. So what will happen? The antigen won't come into your lung. Their body is hypersensitive. It is a kind of allergy. Okay, like they have allergic to like pollen grain. Okay, you know, that's pollen grain thing, like dust or like low temperature. These all things usually cause what? Bronchoconstriction. And everyone have their different kind of instruments too. Okay, in this what happened? In this asthma, intrathoracic pressure increases. So when this intrathoracic pressure increase, which increase what? Because of this increase, it increases intravertebral space, and because of increases intravertebral space, they walk in forced position. So therefore they walk in forced position. What is forced position? Basically, they when they move, when they are walking or normally, for their back is little bend, like an old people's, you know, like old people have little bend back. Okay, so they can breathe easily because these pressures are increased. Okay, so their back is little bit bent, and what we call that bent back, that leads to that bent back. Okay, that leads to kyphosis. You should remember that leads to what? Kyphosis. Okay, this position. That's all. Thank you.